Just wanted to know what your feelings are on CleanSpark, CLSK.
If you like Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. That has always been my view. And for a while, I liked it. And then, I decided, well, you know what? That money's been made. But I was premature before. When you make a lot of money, that's something back.
Not that banks do wrong. If you think we could improve that in a digital world, the answer is sure you could. But in that case, let's do a central bank digital currency.
Are you there?
Oh, for a central bank digital currency? Yeah. Yes. I think it's time for us to move.
No, again, I really can't comment on that, but I think I've been very transparent that I've thought for many years now that there is no reason for us to stand in the way of a spot Bitcoin exchange traded product. Every one, of course, must be judged on its own unique set of facts and circumstances. But we've had a number come before us where I've said, I don't see the reason that we're denying these. And so I think we got a little bit of a nudge from the court, and we'll see where things go from here.
Oh, they are definitely in the same sentence. The criminal authorities are making it known that there is serious felony exposure for participating in this industry, that particularly with these big companies that have the ability to be able to do anti-money laundering procedures. So, there's no excuse. And that's basically what they said. Now, they had great evidence with CZ saying, ask forgiveness, don't worry about asking permission, and very casually throwing off anti-money laundering restrictions. So I think this is a really big step. I think this shows that, we thought that the big players would be the ones to lead the way and get it right. And we're not seeing that. Now, Coinbase is in a different situation. So far there aren't any allegations against it, but now we have new charges against Kraken. It's really surprising that we haven't had large players who've really gotten this right yet.
Well, and so therefore, there's a larger implication. We have a lot of investors who watch the broadcast who are invested in Bitcoin and in other cryptocurrencies, and what they're supposed to think about this. Some people actually look at this as a positive. They say that this industry, the house is getting cleaned out, and that hopefully now it actually becomes more standardized, more there's really more housekeeping involved. Do you believe that? Do you not believe that? Is this a good sign for the industry, or is this a sign that the industry was based on a lot of activity which was not, frankly, legal?
I think there's a lot of there was a lot of casualness about complying with the law in the industry. I think the industry is fundamentally going to remain sound, but this is a huge shakeup. This isn't going to mean that Bitcoin really changes. Some are saying that this is a good sign for the approval of the Bitcoin ETFs by the SEC, and maybe this was an important step that had to happen.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And guys, make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you hit the Cash App. And don't forget, guys, we're going to be the only game in town tomorrow. And I told you we would get liquidity Wednesday night going into Thursday. And then we know once the stock market opens, we'll pull back. It's like clockwork, guys. Remember, the algorithm is running it all. And we have Jim Cramer saying, if you like Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. I sold prematurely. But we know Jim Cramer knows all about the fourth industrial revolution. And we know Bitcoin is still going to be pumping and dumping. And don't forget, guys, over these next 3 to 5 years, hyper deflation is going to be running rampant through the global economy due to all the technology that's rising. And then we have Elizabeth Warren says she's ready for a CBDC. Oh, she's ready for a central bank digital currency. And the politicians are ready to push it. They're going to push the agenda. Remember, they never agree on anything when it comes to the people, but when it comes to the NWO's agenda, they come together to move it forward. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And we have Hester Pierce said we're ready for a spot Bitcoin ETF. And we know it's going to come soon, but then also, guys, with a spot Bitcoin ETF, it will stabilize the price. It's going to take a lot of volatility out of Bitcoin. And we know they want to keep that casino going. And then plus, guys, we know the emerging markets are going to be flipping that switch on the fourth industrial revolution next year. And then the United States will be flipping that switch in 2025. Now we have CNBC speaking about Binance's takedown and about avoiding AML rules. And guys, we know the banks are the biggest what? The only people that fall for this are those who do not understand the history of the banks that we have. And that's the reason why you should understand you're watching a movie. Remember, your life is an illusion and TV is your reality. First, we had BitMEX, we had FTX, Binance, and now Kraken. And it looks like Andreessen, my guy, Coinbase is going to be the last one standing. And we know the majority stakeholder in Coinbase is Vanguard. Now, don't get me wrong, the Rothschild Fund was also invested in Kraken. Now, we also know exchanges are nothing but banks. So they definitely want the big banks to take over the exchange role. And if the big banks take over, we know that keeps the Fed in control, the central banks. And speaking of the central banks, we have the old chair, Janet Yellen, at the DOJ press conference speaking about Binance. And we know she's an NWO chess piece because she told us we wouldn't get any inflation after printing all that money. Now the economy is doing great. Just look at the jobs market. If you're not getting any unemployment insurance and you don't have a job, you drop out the system. You're no longer counted. So unemployment is about 20-25%. We know in the Black and Latino community, it's probably about 40%. Remember, the NWO loves that pen. Why, guys? Because it's magical. And we know the NWO are the master magicians. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Today to announce the Treasury Department's historic action, the largest enforcement action in Treasury's history against Binance, the world's largest virtual currency exchange, for its consistent and egregious violations of U.S. anti-money laundering and sanctions law. Protecting the U.S. financial system, and through that, the global financial system, is core to the Treasury Department's mission. And ever since Binance launched its convertible virtual currency platform, it has knowingly evaded the U.S. laws designed to protect these systems. Over more than 3 years, FinCEN, OFAC, and IRS criminal investigation thoroughly investigated key aspects of Binance's activities. Our work revealed that Binance claimed to have exited the U.S. market years ago, but actually did not, retaining U.S. users and other significant ties with the United States. It also had critical gaps in its anti-money laundering program and practices, from a lack of risk-based procedures for various offerings to instructing staff to withhold information from law enforcement. It deliberately undermined its own sanctions monitoring controls, and it failed to report suspicious transactions. This meant Binance was allowing illicit actors to transact freely, supporting activities from child sexual abuse to illegal narcotics to terrorism across more than 100,000 transactions. That includes transactions associated with terrorist groups like Hamas's Al-Qassam brigades, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, Al-Qaeda, and ISIS. Binance processed these transactions, but it never filed a single suspicious activity report, and it also allowed over 1.5 million virtual currency trades that violated U.S. sanctions. So, we have taken the largest enforcement action in Treasury's history. FinCEN's settlement agreement assesses a penalty of $3.4 billion. OFAC's settlement agreement assesses a penalty of nearly $1 billion. Binance is also required
going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and When the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.